Hello, good morning. Welcome to this morning's meditation here on the Deanne Awakening Love page. Please say hi and where you're tuning in from. I'm here every morning at 8 a.m. British Summer Time, London time. Good morning, good evening or good afternoon, of course. How are you all? Good morning. Good morning. Hi. Whereabouts in the USA are you? Good morning. Good morning, Washington. Washington as well. Okay, cool. Just been getting some reminders on Facebook for my events that I used to run years ago. Actually, lots of different reminders. I quite like that, I have to say. Doing good this morning. How are you doing? I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm really good. I'm quite tired again. Didn't go to bed quite as early last night, but you know, I'm just going with the flow. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just noticed I got some reminders from my groups when I used to create these beautiful gatherings years ago, and just how many people that I brought in from, you know, different places in the world. And yeah, we just had an amazing array of guest speakers, and it was just amazing. And I knew it was a powerful time because of all the people that came to the groups and how it changed people's lives. But I don't think I ever envisaged that I wouldn't be able to be in a group with people in that way. So I'm getting these reminders on, you know, the Facebook memories, and it's showing me how powerful it was at that time. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Berlin. And just reminding me of how courageous I was, really, because I meditated one day. I was given this idea to start a group, and within a month or so of receiving the information, I created it. And I mean, it went through a few metamorphoses, like the name changed a few times, and the people that were around changed quite a lot. And I did originally start it with someone else, but I think we both had different ideas of what it really was. So I wanted to stick with the information that I've been given in the meditation. So I moved it forward in that direction, and it just became like this global gathering where, you know, speakers would come from all over the world. And I never had any fear about asking anyone. I would always just ask them, and they'd either say yes or no, but actually most of the time they said yes. Yeah, I'd love to be a speaker, and they would come to the group, and then I'd attract people from, you know, all over the UK. Just amazing to get these reminders. We had meditation and prayers, and often the people who were speaking had written books, or they were musicians, or they were therapists in some way, or artists, or a mixture of all of those things. So I was able to have this platform to share, so that people could really get to know who they were and understand themselves better and love themselves, and, you know, investigate all the parts of themselves through the teachers that I brought to the space, through the meditation, through the gathering, through the, you know, the things that have become very important to me at this time. And I recognised this is a theme through my life, and it's community, connection, and meditation. And those things have been so powerful in my life. Good morning, good morning. I can see a few faces that I recognise. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Are you still sailing? Are you sailing around? Let me know. I know you've got a boat. Hello. Yeah, so I was getting these reminders about the events that I used to run and how we all used to be able to gather together in that way in the groups, and how that just seems like such a long time ago now. I mean, it is a few years ago, but also because of how everything is in the world right now, it's like we don't even know if how long it's going to be before that's even possible again. So it makes me cherish the those times of those gatherings that are created, and it makes me recognize it on another level, that it was so important at that time. And that when I got the messages to actually finish running the groups, because that's what also happened, I then began to receive messages that told me that it was over, and that I'd need to find another way. I didn't understand that either. I was like, well, why would I need to end? And then people stopped coming and different things happened for it to kind of just dissolve, really, for a better word. And now I've got this beautiful opportunity to share online in this way, through my page, in this way with all of you that show up every day, which is amazing, and some of you that have never seen this before, which is amazing. And so I have my Sunday gatherings, and my Sunday gatherings are becoming like my physical gatherings were, but it's actually easier because the people that are all over the world can just tune in and, you know, connect with Zoom or whatever, but at the moment I'm using Zoom, and speak and share. So there's none of this traveling, and everyone can join from all over the world. So actually, the gatherings that I created years ago are actually possible now on a much bigger scale because of the technology that we've got. So I'm feeling really excited, and it's made me realise that I will begin, I have already begun to ask people to come in, to drop into the Zoom and to speak and to share about what their lives, what they've learned, what they've written, you know, the music, whatever it might be. Good morning, good morning. Oh, so grateful for you. Thank you, that's so lovely. Good morning, Bucks. Yeah, so it's just this real recognition going on that actually, you know, when we don't have to, I mean, I love traveling, don't get me wrong, and I definitely want to be able to do that again, but to actually have a space, a physical space, through technology where people can join at all different times of the day and evening and participate in a group community space, is just so flipping powerful, isn't it? And it means that I can bring in these guest speakers that I used to have that probably now can't really travel anyway, to share again, and some new ones, of course, as well. You know, so I'm going to be focusing on that and growing these Sunday groups. I really feel it's, yeah, I just feel like I've been inspired this morning by seeing these old photos. I posted one on my Instagram, you know, and there's so many group photos. I mean, I've got literally hundreds of photos from my events, more like thousands actually. I've got thousands of photographs from my events from years ago, me with all these different speakers, and but of course all the participants were amazing as well. So we had amazing speakers and amazing participants, and some of the participants would actually speak. So and it was a place for me to grow in confidence, because I didn't really wasn't interested in talking to a group at that time. I was actually quite shy and held myself back quite a lot, really. But it did give me the confidence to work with groups and to speak up and to share. And I went from sharing my meditation to eventually giving darshan in my groups, which was really lovely transition. So, you know, I'd grown, the groups had grown, and people who were coming to the groups had grown. And also the people that would often come and share at the groups, their lives would expand massively after they'd been to the groups as well. So that was really interesting to see, because they were already quite well known, but somehow their lives expanded even more afterwards. So that was really, really beautiful. So yeah, I'm feeling really inspired by these groups that I used to create, and creating that again in a slightly different way and making it more accessible for people as well. And I think I do have a list of people that wanted to do you know, interviews with me and for me to interview them. So I think I'm going to bring them in as well in some way and just make it very very interesting. Very interesting space of sharing for everybody. And you know, maybe there's some of you on here that want to speak about your experiences on my Sunday groups. You know, who knows? Well, I'm definitely putting it out there. I'm putting it out there to the universe that I want to grow the groups on a Sunday, that I want to create a really beautiful, big, global community where we can all share together. And I really need to turn off my notifications. Sorry, 1 second. I keep getting interrupted otherwise. And yeah, just to create that space again. To create that space of growth, communication, community, connection, and meditation, and presence, in a way. I've been doing it for a few weeks now, and as you know, I've been doing these every morning for, I think we must be at day 58 now, so almost coming up to day 60. And then, I don't know, going to have some kind of celebration, because I feel like that's a massive landmark. But I'm going to keep going. We'll see how far I can go with these, how many I can do. Yeah, not set an intention, because I'm just going with the flow. But every day I feel it's got easier and easier to get up, even if I'm tired, even if, you know, I've been awake half a night, even if whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm just so focused and committed to being here for all of you, wherever you are and whenever you might see this, because I realise as well this will go onto my YouTube channel and people will see this for years to come, and hopefully it'll be as relevant to them when they see it as it is now for me sharing it. So part of this really was to inspire you. If there's something that you feel that you want to create, and you know, you're getting this feeling to create this thing, to do this thing, whatever it might be, then my advice is just do it. Just go ahead and create it, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I literally was sat at home one day. I mean, I'd had lots of amazing experiences, and I was given this information to start a group. I had no clue what that actually meant. I'd never started a group before. I didn't even know how to start a group. I didn't know if anyone would come to the group. You know, there were all these kind of questions, but I knew I was in such a place of faith with the information that I was given that I trusted it, and literally within a month my group had begun, and I started it in a hotel locally, and it was quite kind of, what's the word? it kind of grew. It started very conservatively, is probably a good word to use, around a kind of conference table in a local hotel, where we had a talk, and we had tea and coffee, and we had some meditation, and people shared. And then it went from that to another incredible venue that belongs to some friends of mine, called Blisslands, and from there it just expanded. And but also we'd had this amazing venue, so it really lent itself to the gatherings, so there was more space for people to come, and we were able to be outside as well as inside. So if the weather was good, we were all able to be outside. We had shared lunches. I created this kind of community lunch, so everyone would bring food, and then we'd have like this big food share, which was just so lovely. And yeah, we'd share in meditation, and people would ask questions to the speaker, and so it really evolved from this one seed. And actually that was the name that was given to me when I started it, was the name Seed. And so it started from a seed, and it grew and it grew, and it became Utopia. It went through a transformation, but the groups became Utopia. That's what they were called, and that was what I was born with, was this knowing that I would be part of creating a utopia here in the world, that I would be part of bringing more peace and more love into the world. I didn't know how that was going to look or how that was going to manifest itself, but I just trusted that. And the ways that it's come about is beyond what I could have possibly imagined, really. So yeah, it grew from a seed, and it was called Seed Pod in the very beginning. Seed, and then Seed Pod, and then it went to Be In, which was be your inner nature, and then it became Utopia, which speaks for itself, of course, because that's what it was. It was a space of utopia. Everybody there just felt amazing at the end of the gatherings, and everyone left with gifts for their soul. And I watched people's lives transform in front of me. Mine changed. My inner life changed. My outer life changed. But I also watched the transformation happen in the people that came to the events. And I watched them leave their jobs and set up businesses and set up groups, and leave their partners or get together in a relationship, or like the dynamics and the exchange and the beauty and the energy and the meditation of all of it was just creating these incredible transformations in people's lives. I literally watched people transform before my eyes. It was amazing. And heal. A lot of people healed through coming to the events. I also worked through a lot of my stuff and healed a lot of things, and grew and expanded, and just as everyone else did. So it was beautiful. It is beautiful. It was incredibly beautiful. I mean, yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful time of being together. And I, as well as attracting all these speakers and therapists and healers, I also attracted a lot of musicians. So I began to meet lots of different musicians, people that would play the hand pan. I have to get the words right. Drums, shamans, musicians that were sharing their spiritual music. We even had somebody mixing music at one point. We had a lady who was a musician, a singer actually, back in the 80s, who began to sing again and share her music, and she came and shared that with us, and so many amazing musicians. And they are, you know, they're still growing and they're still amazing. They're more amazing now than they were. And yeah, so there was this recognition that I was also holding this space for all the musicians. So it was a real space of transformation, creativity, and inspiring. You know, it was inspiring people. It was inspiring me. I mean, sometimes I was blown away by how everything unfolded. But often I would have a challenge. There'd be a challenge the day before the event, the week before. Often it would be the day before or the morning before the event. There would be some challenge that I had to face, which could be anything from somebody being stuck at the airport to someone being stuck at a train station to not being able to make the event for one reason or another. You know, like to cars breaking down, to all kinds of things used to happen just before the event, and I would work my way through it. It wasn't always easy, but I would see it as an opportunity to continue to create the event regardless of, you know, the things that appeared to go wrong, inverted commas. Yes, there were some great challenges there, and people would often be like, well, oh my goodness, you did that before you were here, or you've had to go there, or, you know, this has happened. And on one occasion I think I had to leave my own meeting to go and rescue one of my speakers. So all kinds of things played out, but yeah, it was incredible opportunity and such a gift to be given the insight to create something like that, and to be able to do it. And I did it in blind faith. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never created a group before. I'd never organized something in like that before. You know, I was literally organizing the day, organizing people to the speakers, choosing people to come in, and organising getting there. And often they would stay with me. That was the other thing. I would often spend, you know, at least 24 hours with the people who were speaking. So I had and that was beautiful as well, because I would get to hang out with these people and they would become friends. And so yeah, it was really lovely, amazing. So if you ever feel inspired to do anything like that, you know, whenever you feel inspired, then my advice is just do it. Just go for it. Be with that blind faith. Just trust the universe and see what magic appears, what magic opens up, how life opens up for you. I mean, truly, it's incredible how life can open up for you when you're willing to take those steps. And even if you don't know where you're going and you don't know what's going to happen and you don't even know if you can do it, just to take those steps, and life will come in, you know, and meet you there and guide you and help you. And all of life, because you are all of life, will come and assist you, where it's for the good of others, for the expansion of others, for the love of others, and creating love, because it created so much more love and peace in the hearts and minds of all those that attended. And so they took that seed, if you like, again, that word, they took that seed with them into their communities, into their homes, into their businesses, into their relationships. And it became like a ripple effect of love, a ripple effect of love that warmed our hearts and minds and went into everyone and everywhere that all of the people that gathered touched. And they all travelled as well. That was the other thing. Many of them travelled. Many of the speakers began travelling. Many of the people that joined began travelling. And many of them actually live all over the world now, and in very different circumstances. We can never know the impact that we have when we share from a place of love, blind faith, trust, integrity. When we share from that place, we can just have such an impact. We'll never know what impact we have, but sometimes we might know and sometimes we might not know. Good morning, good morning. Oh, lovely to have you both here. How sweet. Lancashire. Yeah, we never know. And I mean, I've been very lucky in that I have actually had feedback from people who have said, I came to your meeting and it completely changed my life because I met such and such a person, or I then did this, or I got inspired to do that, or I wrote this book, or, you know, whatever it might be. One of the last gatherings that I did, which was really more like a retreat that I did actually, I had this idea about washing people's feet and doing a blessing. By then I'd kind of realised that sharing a meditation, giving darshan and blessings was just, you know, it was just like second nature to me. I'd always kind of done it anyway, but I was doing it in a more obvious way. And yeah, one of my gatherings I decided that I was going to like bathe the feet of people, and so I did that outside. It was a beautiful day, so people would go outside one at a time and I would bathe their feet with this water. And the water was actually from Glastonbury. It was from, it was sacred water from the Chalice Well that a friend of mine had been and stayed with me. And she brought this water and she said, did I want some? And I said, yes, because I'd got this gathering and I would use it. And I didn't know how I was going to use it. Well, then I ended up blessing everybody and washing their feet. And it was just so lovely. And I think that was actually one of the last gatherings that I did, one of the last retreats that I did at that time. But this is, you know, we can just follow our hearts with these things. We don't have to have all the answers. We don't have to have it all planned out. What we do have to have is an idea, and then we just open the space for that to unfold, and we trust and we allow and we move and we expand. And that's what I did with every single one of my gatherings. I had a vague idea. Eventually, you know, as I really got into it, I would set out a plan of how the day might go, who I might bring in, and then there could be changes last minute. And I would just trust and allow it to reveal itself and expand into whatever it needed to be on that particular day with that particular group of people. And we all received what we needed in that space. Me included. I received so much from creating those spaces. And I also had some healings in those spaces as well, through offering healing, through offering darshan. There was a time when I actually received healing myself, and I think I'll share about that. I've not shared this with anyone really. But on one of the last gatherings, well, I still thought it was going to continue, but then I was given the information that it wasn't going to continue. I'd got a really bad problem with my shoulder, this shoulder, my right shoulder. I got a lot of pain in it on a regular basis, and actually it was making it difficult for me to give darshan, because I was using this hand because I'm right-handed. And at this particular event, I was giving darshan anyway, even though I was in a bit of pain. I was just trying to work through it, and I'd had this problem with my shoulder for quite a few months and it didn't seem to be going anywhere. Anyway, the group had gathered together. We'd had some beautiful kirtan. We'd we'd sat in healing and meditation, and I'd given darshan to the whole group. And then I was kind of sat in the middle of the room afterwards, and we sat in silence. And I felt this rush of energy through my body. I mean, this might sound a little crazy, but it was a little bit like the Holy Spirit just kind of moved through my whole body. And a wave of emotion came over me. I just felt so deeply grateful for sharing the darshan with these people in that space at that time, and even working through the fact that I was in pain with my shoulder and my arm. I was still offering that space, and yeah, I had this wave of energy that really did feel like the Holy Spirit moving through my body, and it created so much emotion. I began to cry, and what had actually happened was I'd received a healing, and my shoulder had actually healed, and I only really realized that evening, or maybe it was even the following day, what had actually happened, that through offering my darshan to everybody that was there, and through offering my healing, even though I wasn't in the best space myself, because I was in pain, I also received a healing. So what I'm saying with this is, don't wait till you have it to offer it. Don't wait till you have it to offer it. Offer it anyway. Because God, the universe, will give you what you need. Will give you what you need to offer to others. And we'll take care of that. So, yeah, it was incredibly beautiful, and I knew at that point that was probably going to be the last event that I did of Utopia, and I think it actually was. I may have tried to do another one, and then it was ended and it finished, and it was 5.5 years of pure love, dedication. It wasn't a money-making thing, because it just didn't happen that way. It was more about connection. It was more about growth. Had I been more business-minded, then maybe I should have had a bit more of a plan with it. But it was how it was meant to be, and it was beautiful. And I felt and do feel so blessed to have met so many amazing people, and worked with them, and had them stay with me, and open my home to them, and also the people whose space that I was able to do the events in, and how they offered their space for me to be there to create this community and to bring all these people together. So yeah, that's what I got reminded of this morning when this photograph came up. And you can connect with me on my Instagram, which is Deanne Official, and you can see that photograph if you want to. And I'll post some more as I come across them. Yeah. So just be brave. Just trust life is guiding you, because life is guiding you. Whether you believe that or not, you are always being guided. And if you're open to receiving, if you're really open to receiving the messages, the inspiration, then you can create amazing things beyond what you could possibly imagine. So my advice is, go for it. If you feel inspired, just go for it. Run with it. Run with it, create, and just give it all that you've got. Give it all that you've got, and don't give up. don't give up, because you never know how you're going to affect people. Thank you for listening. It's just so good to share that with you all. I hope that I've inspired you in some way. I didn't know I was going to talk about that this morning. So, welcome. There's lots of you, which is amazing. Would you like to ask me any questions, or do you want to share anything that's going on for you at the moment? We always have this space open a little bit for questions about meditation, questions about spirituality, or sharing about anything that's going on with you. And I would love for you to feel that you can share if you want to right now. If you want to ask me anything about what I've just shared with you, and you're very welcome. And of course, this is my morning meditation, so we will move on to a meditation in a little while. Good morning. I'm just waiting to see if any questions come up. I don't know if you've got any for me. But if you want to just get yourselves comfortable for the meditation, and we'll see if any questions come up anyway. So make sure that you're warming off. If it's late where you are, because I know you're tuning in from all over the world, and actually all over the UK, I can see a few of you in different places. Then make yourselves comfortable, make sure that you're warming off. If you want to get your headphones, you can pop your headphones on now. If you need to go to another room to be on your own, or if you want to bring anyone in to the meditation, you can also share it now or ask them to come and sit with you. You're welcome, to do that. Just got a question now. What is your take on past lives? That's a really good question. My understanding of past lives is that there are... Have a lovely day. I'm heading off to work now. Oh, you too. Have a blessed day. Hope you can join again soon. Have a lovely day. My take on past lives is that we are multidimensional beings. I've mentioned this before. And so we are able to be in many different places all at the same time, if that makes sense. We're also eternal beings, so we can show up on different timelines, having different experiences. So as we show up on different timelines, that's essentially the past life experiences. So we are having that experience at the same time as we are having this experience. And I know this is quite, for you to get your head around, it's quite a tricky one, because we appear to just be here, don't we, in this body, having this experience. But from all your emotions and all the things that work through our system, there's always seems to be a lot going on when we tune in. And there are many different dimensions of experience. And by dimension, I mean vibration. So each dimension is a different vibration of reality, each dimension is a different vibration of reality. So we are existing simultaneously in different vibrations of reality, depending on where we are moment to moment. And it's very clear that our very cells in our body are made of space and are made of intelligence, and that one being affects another being over the other side of the world. So there is no time or space, and we are all interacting with each other, even if we don't realize it, because we're all like this one, moving and vibrating and experiencing and expanding and contracting. And So past lives are our soul's journey, and we accumulate information and understanding about life and who we are and our spirituality and our nature from all of these journeys that we have through the past and into the future. But all of this, because there is no time or space, is existing simultaneously. So we're in this dance with the universe continuously. So all of history and all of what the possibilities of life are present here in this moment, as are you. So my understanding of past lives is that we can be, that we have stored all of this in ourselves, in our DNA. All of our experience is stored in our cells and in our DNA, and we can access that through past life regression. And then we can experience what it was to live, in the 1600s, or, how, obviously there's so many different timelines, and what our experience was when we were living that life, and how it's affected how we are now, because it's part of the fullness of our experience for our soul, if you like. So this is our evolution, how we grow and we learn and we expand, is through all of this experience. So past lives exist simultaneously. You could, if you imagine a line of time, and then we are here in the middle, and then all the other lives that we've had are either side of this, and we can go to anywhere in this timeline through being regressed. That's kind of my understanding of it. I know that I've had many past lives as a spiritual teacher, and that has often been very difficult to experience life from that point. Not anymore, though. But and I, all of us have existed, many of us have existed together as well in past lives, and will continue to do so, as we've chosen beings to continually be a part of our experience at different times throughout our evolutionary process, throughout our soul's journey. We've chosen various different souls to come in and to share with us, and to be our friends, to be our family, to be in our experience, and to show up at specific times with specific gifts or lessons or learnings or relationships, whatever it might be. So all the time we've got all these kind of meetings happening that remind us of some part of ourselves that maybe we've forgotten, or bring us a gift to help us move in the direction that we're already moving in. There is this vast intelligence that moves through all of life, that moves through each and every one of us, and we are all living according to that intelligence and how life wants to move. And so time, as many of you know, is an illusion. It is a man-made concept. When we sit and we meditate, we recognize that there's no time, because there's no experience of time in meditation. In the stillness, in the silence, there's no experience of time. And yet we see life unfolding, we see that we're growing, we see that our bodies are changing, and how we were so many years ago to how we are now is always very different. And that all of our cells in our body are renewing themselves. So I think it's something like every 7 days, we have a whole new body. We are a completely different person every 7 days or so, because all of our organs in our body are regenerating. from the, the very foundations. So we are holograms in a matrix that are continually birthed and renewed and recreated, and we continue to get recreated and recreated and recreated in this form until we need to take on another form. And when we take on another form, that becomes another life experience. But life and death, I've spoken about this before, life and death are two sides of the same wheel. So there's the life and death cycle that is continually happening as we grow, as our souls evolve, as we learn, as we become more and more of what we are, as we embody more and more of what we are. So we're moving through this cycle of life, through death, through out of body, into body, through out of body, into body, and everything in between. And when we come out of this body, we move into another body, if our soul decides that that is the right thing for us. And so then we have what would be called another life experience, and another life experience, and another life experience. And as we move through these life experiences become then our past lives we've already lived. But as there is no time or space, these lives exist simultaneously, and the memories from those lives are held in your cells and your DNA, which is why we often have irrational fears about things or irrational ideas about things, because in a past life experience, there was something very profound about that which impacts what we're experiencing now. So, great question, and I hope that I've gone some way to answering that in a way that you understand. Sometimes I have to also be careful, because it's so simple and yet it can be so complex. So I have to realize how I'm speaking about these things, so I don't just confuse you, completely confuse you. So I hope that made sense. How do you ground yourself if you're feeling out of sorts? Great question. The breath. Always come back to the breath. And if you're feeling out of sorts, allow yourself to feel the emotions that are arising in your body. I talk about this all the time, but it's so simple, and it's so important to feel whatever is coming up in any moment. So you're meeting the moment, continuously meeting the moment from a place of openness and place of openness and acceptance for how you are in any moment. So can you fully accept yourself in this moment with the feeling of out of sorts, whatever that looks like? Can you say to yourself, I'm okay with not feeling okay? And come back to the breath, because the breath is what's happening here now. So as soon as you focus on the breath, you're out of your mind and you're in your body. I hope that helps. That would be my immediate answer to feeling out of sorts, is come back to the breath, come back to the body, and allow yourself to feel whatever needs to be felt. Even if you're not used to feeling it, let yourself feel it, because the only way you can work through it, the only way that you can have a different experience, is to allow it to move through the body, whatever that looks like: joy, sadness, happiness, ecstasy, despair, depression, whatever it looks like. Welcome it. And just welcome it into your awareness, welcome it into your consciousness, because the vastness of being that you are can only momentarily be affected by it, because it's moving through you. It's not what you are, it's just moving through you. And if you can be the space to hold that and allow it to move through, then you'll be free of it. And and then when that experience comes again, you'll be free of it again. This is how we become a master of our emotions and not a slave to them. By allowing them to be there, witnessing them, recognizing them, feeling them. And in feeling them, they dissolve. Because the vastness of your being is so vast that only that which is real can remain. And anything that is unreal will dissolve. I hope that's helped. Well said, Diane. I couldn't agree more. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad that I was able to explain it in a way that was coherent. Thanks for the hearts. Great, glad I could help. Glad that helped. Fabulous questions, thank you. So, are we ready for some meditation? I think it's time. So if you're not already comfortable, get yourselves comfy. Make sure that you're warming up. Oh, where are you all from, actually? There's loads of you here, and some of you haven't said where you are. I'd love to know where you are, because there's loads of you here this morning. She's amazing. Good morning, sunshine. Yeah, good morning, sunshine, to you too. Virginia, oh, USA, wow. So, yeah, make sure you're warm enough. We'll start again. If it's late where you are, then you can lie down. If you can sit up straight, that's ideal for meditation. So just sit, make sure that you've got some support behind you. Have your hands resting on your knees, palms facing up, tropical Stoke-on-Trent. I love it. Well, it will be tropical later, for sure. It's very humid this morning. Very humid. And let's all take a breath together. Let's take another breath together. Breathing in and breathing out. And just allow everything to settle. And as always, I ask you to check in with your body. So right now, just notice how you're feeling. Notice the beat of your heart. Notice the temperature of your skin. Become aware of the sounds in the room and outside. You can close your eyes now and just follow the sound of my voice. Just begin to tune into your body. How do you feel? What sensations are happening in the body? Notice the temperature of your skin. Notice your shoulders. Are they relaxed? Are you holding any tension in the body anywhere? Just give yourself permission to relax that part of your body. And breathe. Just breathe rhythmically, relaxed. And you're going to allow yourself just to meet this moment exactly as it presents itself right now, right here, without the need to change anything, to be any more of yourself, to be any less of yourself, to change anything about yourself or about this moment. Just let yourself meet this moment as it is, as you are feeling right now, as life is offering it to you right now. This moment is a gift. Breathe. Notice the body softening. Notice the breath relaxing, releasing any tension from the cells. Allowing relaxation to just spread with each breath. And let this relaxation spread throughout the body, to the tips of your fingers, to the tips of your toes, to the top of your head. Welcoming this moment exactly as it is. Exactly as you are. And in the silence between my voice, begin to recognize your connection with all of nature, with the trees, with the earth, with the sky, with the plants and the flowers, with the animals. Begin to remember your connection with all of life, with all of life's beauty. In this moment, recognizing your own beauty, your own nature, your divine nature. breathe. Breathe. Continuing to be open to this moment, to be receptive to this moment. Notice how in this moment all of your needs are met. All of your needs are met in this moment. Notice the perfection of your being in this moment. There is nothing more you need to do, be, have. Just being present here is enough. Just being open to this is enough. Continuing to give all the parts of your body permission to relax, to release, to let go, to be. And breathe. Breathe easily and gently. Body relaxed. Breathing easily and gently. Whole body relaxed. Mind relaxed. And in your own time, when you feel ready, you can gently begin to open your eyes. And just give yourselves a moment deep healing energy here today. Thank you for joining this morning's meditation. And please connect with me on my Deanne Awakening Love page or my Deanne page. I'm also available to work with one-to-one. If you'd like to work with me, let me know. Just send me a PM. Please check out my website, which is www.awakeninglove.co.uk. And if you would like to have my YouTube channel, you can just put YouTube in the comments below and you can access all the past meditations, and as I upload these you'll be able to access these as well, and all my interviews on my YouTube, and all the resources that are on there, including music, meditation, and so much more, really. For those of you who would like to make a contribution or donation, you can put PayPal in the comments below this video. I also have a GoFundMe that is in process at the moment, and that's at the top of my Deanne Awakening Love page. If you'd like to contribute towards that, that would be amazing. Thank you so much to all of you for being here this morning. I look forward to being with you all again tomorrow at 8 AM British Summer Time, London time. Lots of love. Have a blessed day, blessed evening, blessed afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you all again tomorrow.